Ever wonder how outrageous fans can get in the golf court? We're getting into the craziest, funniest, and most outrageous moments ever caught on film in the world of golf. From wild costumes to jaw-dropping antics, these are the most outrageous golf fan moments ever caught on film. You'll definitely love this. We dug through Essentially Sports, Live Golf highlights, Golf Digest archives, and even old tournament footage to find the craziest fan moments ever. And trust me, you'll want to stick around until the very end because we saved the most jaw-dropping moment for last. All right, let's jump right into it, starting with number 10, the rowdy 16th hole at the Phoenix Open. This one's a fan favorite, literally. The 16th hole at the Waste Management Phoenix Open is the wildest hole in golf. Unlike the usual calm and collected golf crowds, this hole is a full-on party zone. Thousands of fans pack into the stadium-like setup, creating an atmosphere that feels more like a football game than a golf tournament. One of the most legendary moments, the 2022 hole-in-one by Sam Ryder. The crowd went absolutely insane, launching thousands of beer cans onto the green in celebration. It was pure chaos. But honestly, it's what makes this hole iconic. Players know what they're signing up for when they step onto this hole. It's loud, it's rowdy, and it's unforgettable. But hey, just make sure you bring an umbrella for beer showers. Coming in at number 9 is one of the most infamous moments in golf history. The time adult film star Brittany Sky crashed the 2003 US Open at Olympia Fields. During the final round, while Jim Furyk was lining up to make history with his win, Brittany Sky suddenly ran onto the 18th green, wearing, let's just say, less than regulation golf attire. She was holding a sign promoting an adult website and caused an uproar before being tackled by security. Talk about a hazard on the course. Furyk managed to keep his cool and went on to win, but that moment has gone down as one of the most bizarre interruptions ever seen in golf. And for those wondering, yes, it's still talked about today, because who could forget something like that? Brittany Sky may have stolen the spotlight for a minute, but it's safe to say golf fans were there to see Furyk's victory, not her promotional stunt. At number 8, we're throwing it back to 1999 at the Open Championship in Carnoustie, Scotland, for a moment that Tiger Woods probably won't forget anytime soon, thanks to a fan named Yvonne Robb. While Tiger was intensely focused on his round, Robb managed to break through the crowd and ran straight up to him. But instead of just cheering or asking for an autograph, she planted a big kiss on Tiger's cheek. Talk about a bold move. Security quickly intervened, but the moment became an instant headline. The funniest part? Tiger barely flinched. He handled it like a pro, brushing it off with a smile before returning to his game. Of course, this is just one example of the Tiger mania that swept the golf world in the late 90s. Yvonne Robb may not have been invited onto the green, but she sure left her mark on golf history. Coming in at number 7 is Kimberly Webster's unexpected and unforgettable appearance at the 2013 President's Cup. During the final day of play at Muirfield Village, Kimberly decided to make her mark by streaking across the fairway in nothing but a patriotic message painted on her body. Her message? Supporting the international team, though let's just say her delivery was a bit unconventional. The crowd couldn't believe their eyes, and even the players, including Tiger Woods, were caught laughing at the absurdity of the moment. Webster was promptly escorted off by security, but she certainly succeeded in stealing the show for a brief moment. While the President's Cup is usually known for intense international competition, this moment proved that sometimes the fans can bring their own kind of energy to the event, whether the players want it or not. Coming in at number 6 is one of the most bizarre and unforgettable fan moments in golf history. Let me introduce you to Nicola Moffat, also known as the Tiger Lady. It was the final round of the 1997 Open Championship at Royal Troon. Justin Leonard was waiting to claim the claret jug, and the crowd was locked in. Then, out of nowhere, boom! Nicola Moffat stormed onto the 18th green dress. Well, not dressed exactly. She was covered head to toe in tiger stripes, painted on her body, with black briefs, matching shoes, and even furry tiger ears. The crowd completely stunned. And the timing couldn't have been better or worse, because sitting in the front row were none other than former President George H.W. Bush and Prince Andrew, who had the ultimate VIP view of her performance. Moffett ran 2 full laps around the green, giving the crowd their money's worth. Everyone assumed it was a tribute to Tiger Woods, who had just won his first Masters a few months earlier and was the hottest name in golf. But get this, it wasn't for Tiger at all. Nicola later revealed that her wild stunt was actually a love note to her boyfriend, Gary Milan. She even admitted her motive, saying, "I wanted him to be at the golf and see me naked." Now that's what I call commitment. Coming in hot at number 5 is none other than the Michael Jordan of streaking himself, Mark Roberts. This guy isn't just any streaker, he's the streaker. Over his career, Roberts has streaked more than 500 times in 13 countries. But his most iconic performance, the 1995 Open Championship at St. Andrews. The scene was set. John Daly had just won the Claret Jug, the crowd was cheering, and then, boom, here comes Mark Roberts. Wearing nothing but a cloth cap, a grin, and carrying a set of plastic kids' golf clubs he claimed he got at Disneyland. And if that wasn't enough, his friends had drawn a 19th hole on his back with an arrow pointing. Well, you get the idea. The chase that followed was pure chaos. Roberts was running, security was running, and out of nowhere, this random guy, who'd apparently been charging people to park in a free car park, joined the pursuit. At one point, Roberts actually slowed down because the guy chasing him was getting too tired. And the grand finale, when they finally caught him, the exhausted guy who tackled Roberts slapped him and shouted, "Hey, bastard." Pure comedy gold. Mark Roberts' streak at St. Andrews didn't just disrupt the celebration, it cemented his status as a legend in sports streaking history. And for those wondering, John Daly handled it like a champ, laughing it off as part of the chaos. At number 4, we have a moment so outrageous it stopped Tiger Woods himself in his tracks. It was the year 2000, at the Open Championship at St. Andrews, and Tiger, just 24 years old, was on the verge of achieving one of golf's greatest feats, completing the career Grand Slam. The crowd was hushed, the tension was electric, and history was about to be made. And then, chaos. Out of nowhere, Jackie Salmon runs onto the green and starts dancing around the flagstick like it's a maypole. Yep, she turned the home of golf into her personal stage. Security was scrambling. The crowd was losing it, and poor Tiger, well, he wasn't amused. Think about it, this was Tiger Woods, the greatest player of his generation, about to solidify his legacy. And Jackie chose this exact moment to steal the spotlight. When security finally caught her, she didn't look the least bit sorry. In fact, she seemed pretty proud of her impromptu performance. Her punishment? A measly fine of 100 pounds. But the cost of interrupting one of golf's most historic moments? Priceless. Tiger later called it a shame that such a monumental moment was disrupted, and honestly, you can't blame him. At number 3, we're taking you to the 2018 Waste Management Phoenix Open, a tournament already famous for its wild crowds and party-like atmosphere. But this year, one fan decided to crank the chaos up to 11. Enter Adam Stalmach, a 24-year-old who turned the 17th hole during the Pro-Am into his own personal stage. It all went down on Wednesday, the laid-back Pro-Am day where the vibe is usually all laughs and casual fun. Suddenly, all eyes turned to Adam, who strolled onto the green wearing nothing but his socks. But this wasn't just a quick streak and run. Oh no, Stalmach made it a performance. He hit the crowd with breakdancing moves, mock practice swings, and even strutted across the fairway as if he'd just won the Masters. Phones were out, people were filming, and laughter erupted across the course. For a solid 5 minutes, Stalmach put on a show, dodging security like a seasoned pro. But eventually, his time in the spotlight came to an end. Security finally tackled him, and the consequences weren't pretty. Adam spent 5 days in jail, lost his bartending job, and was hit with a $1,500 fine. And when reporters asked if he regretted it, His response was pure gold. Yeah, it was worth it. Apparently, a few drinks before the stunt gave him the courage, because as he put it, he wouldn't have done it sober. For Adam, the crowd's laughter made it all worthwhile. 5 minutes of fame, 5 days in jail, and one unforgettable performance. Just another day at the Phoenix Open. Just when you thought we'd covered all the wild fan moments in golf history, here comes 2000's Open Championship at St. Andrews, a tournament so chaotic it brought us not one, not two, but 5 streakers. Let's set the stage. It wasn't just Jackie Salmon dancing on the 18th green that year. Nope, she was just one act in this 5-part streaking circus. We had Carol Lyman taking center stage on the 16th green, Julie Meathen making her dash in nothing but shorts, and Michael Duncan, who earned the title of the tournament's first streaker. Then there was Barry Dorman, who didn't just streak, he added somersaults on the 18th fairway and even posed dramatically on the iconic Swilken Bridge. You can't make this stuff up. The chaos didn't stop there. Thousands of fans stormed the course, overwhelming security, to the point where even John Paramore, the chief referee of the European Tour, admitted it was the first time he felt genuinely frightened on a golf course. Things got so out of hand that one poor marshal ended up pushing a fan into the Swilken Burn. The aftermath? All 5 streakers were slapped with fines, with a judge even scolding them for ruining the concentration of golfers under extreme pressure. But here's where it gets interesting. Rumors swirled that someone had offered a £10,000 reward to anyone who would streak during the tournament. Was it true? Who knows? But none of the streakers ended up taking home the supposed prize. You've been waiting for this, the #1 most outrageous golf fan moment ever. And of course, it's back at the Phoenix Open, the tournament that practically invented golf chaos. It's 2023, the second round at TPC Scottsdale, and the crowd at the 16th hole is electric as usual. But suddenly, a man strides onto the green, and the cheers erupt into a mix of shock and laughter. It's Sean Patrick McConnell, rocking nothing but a Speedo and a whole lot of confidence. This wasn't your run-of-the-mill streaking stunt. Sean came with a plan. First, he grabbed the flagstick and gave the crowd an unforgettable pole dancing performance, complete with a cheeky 19th hole message scrawled across his back, with an arrow pointing, well, you can guess where. But Sean wasn't done. After his moment in the spotlight, he sprinted off the 16th green, through the tunnel, and onto the 17th tee, turning the tournament into his own personal track meet. He dashed down the 17th fairway, dodging security like a pro, while players, caddies, and fans watched in stunned disbelief. His grand finale? A full-speed leap into the pond left of the 17th green, sending a splash so big it could have rivaled a water hazard mishap. As he swam toward the 18th hole, security finally caught up, pulling him out and bringing his outrageous escapade to an end. McConnell was arrested on the spot, slapped with charges of trespassing, disorderly conduct, and failure to obey law enforcement, and booked into the Scottsdale City Jail. While Sean may regret his decisions, for fans at the Phoenix Open, it was an unforgettable show. Golfers weren't the only ones making highlights that day. From streakers making history to fans turning greens into stages, these unforgettable incidents prove that golf isn't always as buttoned up as it seems. If you enjoyed this countdown and want more wild, hilarious, and iconic golf content, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We've got more incredible golf stories, player profiles, and fan-fueled fun coming your way.